Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're having all right day. Just want to address something real fast. Give it a couple of seconds. People will jump in here. But I just wanted to make a quick video, and I'm going to do this a little more in detail very soon. But I thought, let me just go ahead and give this out here. Listen, silence is still an action. You know what I'm saying? I always say this, family, that nowhere in scripture do you find peacekeeper, right? But you do see peacemaker. And I've taught on this many, many times. What is the difference between a peacekeeper and a peacemaker? A peacekeeper is someone who makes the decision to turn a blind eye, to stay silent to any situation regarding life, if even in your marriage and your relationships and anything it entails, right? Is someone who's like, okay, I'm not going to rock this boat. I don't want to address this matter because I want to keep the peace, right? However, that person thus welcomes the same damaging and toxic behavior in their life. But a peacemaker is someone who understands, if I'm going to find peace, if I'm going to create peace, I have to confront the conflict. I can't ignore it. I can't run from it. I can't act like it's not there. And I think it's time that we really take hold of that truth in every area of our life. And this area of racism and prejudice has always been a very big deal that many people has hid behind the cross instead of carrying it. And so, but I understand the dynamics of this situation, and that many people are like, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do, whatever. Listen, do something. And so what I want to do is just make this quick video to reach out to every pastor, every church, every person of platform and influence that I can help and we can help have a conversation to help other people create a conversation to bring the place to awareness. So as many of you may be aware of, it isn't just now making news, but however, this happened 2 months ago of a young black man running in a neighborhood that got gunned down, chased and gunned down by two white individuals, right? And so and this, what's crazy about this story is that, number one, this happens all the time. And secondly, this literally was a conversation I was just having with some peers and friends about the hesitancy I was having myself in running in my own neighborhood. And so it's just crazy. So we need to have these conversations. And so I know that there's individuals like, well, I don't know how to have it. I want to have it. So I want to help you. I want to help you have it. And so listen, this is real, family. It has always been real. And so I am a large black man. I'm 6'6". I have a deep voice. If I'm not intentionally smiling, I can look angry or intimidating or whatever the case may be. And so I feel like my entire life I've been walking around eggshells, making sure I'm not putting myself in any sort of situation where someone's systemic fear of me, that they can take advantage of that. Right. And so I literally changed how I travel. I try my best not to stay at anybody's houses anymore, due to horrible experiences, all the different things. Right. And so there's some things through the eyes of a black man or minorities or whatever it may be that I just think it could really bring perspective to create a conversations. This is what needs to happen. We need less soapboxes and we need more coffee tables. Okay. We need, we need less places where we're just yelling from a soapbox and more places where we're creating conversations around a coffee table, around a dinner table. So you can really, really build a place of awareness and place of understanding. And so that's what I'm looking for. I wanted to reach out to every pastor, every leader. Please, you watching, reach out to your pastor, reach out to your leader, and say, hey, let's reach out to Timothy, and let's create it. A church that are silent, family, is a church that's given a thumbs up. I firmly believe it. regarding these issues. We cannot pick and choose what we deem as a justice issue and a social issue. We will fight for and preach passionately for unborn children, but stay silent for the children who are being gunned down on the street. That's not right. Right. And so God's heart is for the child and adult before the womb and after the womb. And as long as we give ourselves permission to say it's not a big idea, then we're literally still part of the problem. And so I want to be able to have a place to say, hey, there's a guy that, hey, just want to help your church create this conversation right now. It's very important. So like I said, I'm from a very diverse family. I have a large family. And so my oldest brother married a girl from Turkey. My second oldest brother married a girl from Peru. My wife is Mexican. My younger brother married a white girl. We got diversity all throughout our family. And so one thing that I realized, family, is just creating all these different bridges. And I want to help your church have that. I firmly believe this, family. If you're choosing, it's different to being ignorant. It's different being unaware. But if you are making up in your mind to ignore it, then you are part of the problem, and shame on you. Shame on you. This needs to be a topic that is being addressed. Needs to be a topic that's being addressed. So I'm not talking about coming into your church and wagging the finger and yelling from a soapbox. And no, we need to create a place of honest, not PR mess, honest conversations around and helping other people create those conversations. So I'm not talking about soapboxes. I'm talking about coffee tables. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So how can I help you? Listen, we got Zoom, we got all different other things. We got Facebook Live, we got Instagram Live. Go to your church. Let's do this now. Stop ignoring it. Again, things I happen to teach my son. Like, man, we were in Target. Before this stuff, we walked to Target and he put his hoodie up. And immediately I pulled his hoodie down. And I'm thinking, what in the world am I doing? Like, why, how sad is it right now that my immediate reaction for my 4-year-old son who put his hoodie up was to pull his hoodie down because I didn't want someone to treat him as a threat. Literally. And so why I don't want my son to grow up in a society where he's tolerated instead of celebrated. I don't want him to wonder if he gets pulled over by the cops. Are they just getting him a ticket, or is his life gonna end? This literally is the dynamics of thought in Black and minority individuals. So we need to address, family, and we cannot stay silent. Again, I've been blessed, so blessed to be in many of you all's camps, conventions, church services. I've been blessed many of the times to be one of the first minority or Black individuals to ever step foot in your platforms and your pulpit in the history of your churches. So been blessed to do that, family. I really feel that God has positioned to be a bridge, to create a conversation for such a time as this. And I really feel like it's that moment in Esther that God was talking with Esther about if you stay silent, you know what I'm saying? I can't. This is not a political issue. And I believe it's a lie from the pits of hell to categorize this as a political issue in the house of God, because then they feel like they have permission not to say anything. No, absolutely not. It's about God's heart. In the same way you passionately preach about abortion, the same way you passionately preach about biblical values, family, this should be it as well. Vital as well. Right. And so we got to create conversations, and we got to speak to the different misconceptions regarding all sorts of cultures. Right. And so we got to address this, but staying silent is foolish, and shame on you if you're choosing to do so. So man up, woman up. Stop hiding behind the cross and carry it. Stop hiding behind it and carry it. Let me help you. Again, I'm not talking about soapboxes. No. I'm not talking about yelling to gain attention. I'm talking about speaking to an audience. Pastors, leaders, churches. Listen, maybe you don't know how to navigate this thing. And maybe you're a white pastor and I don't know, just so many things I don't understand. Well, check this out. That's what I'm offering myself. Let's talk about this thing. Let's do it together. Let's show the church Let's show people how to create a conversation, right? And so I just feel like this is vitally important, and it's time that we step up. So my website is right here. And so I'm going to write it right now. TM Online. If I can write, I'm sorry, y'all. TMM online.org. Message me, reach out to me, or DM me, whatever. Pastors, leaders, let's chat. Let's do this. Let's do it now. Strike while the iron's hot. Again, and so this young man whose life, he was killed running. You know what I'm saying? And people like, the first thing like, oh, well, he must have done this. He must have done that. If that literally was your first thought, that is the problem. That's the problem. Right? And so beyond that, family, we must create a conversation. So like I said, I'm not talking about soapboxes. I'm talking about coffee tables. And if you are willingly making up in your mind to stay silent, family, then it's a shame. Shame on you. Pastors, leaders, let's show the communities how to have a conversation, because silence is not the answer. You have people in your church dying inside. Fear. You know, the level of anxiety, post-traumatic stress in the Black community is crazy. Dying, shouting on Sunday, but dying on Monday, right? You have an opportunity to address it. A multi-ethnic church or multicultural church or any whatever it may be, or a white church or a Black church, or whatever the case may be, like, well, I just don't know if I should. I don't. Yes, you should address it. That's what I'm saying. You may not know all the answers, you may not know how to navigate all of this or whatever, but I have your back. I have your back before. I have your back being traveling and preaching and doing the youth conventions and youth camps and all different things. You know what I mean? Being many times the only Black person in the church, right? So I said, I know your heart. I know your heart, but let's address, family, the need of what's going on. So again, my website's right there. DM me, message me, every pastor, every leader, government official, whatever the case may be. Let's talk about this, and let me help you talk about it. Again, be very clear for those who are chiming in. I'm not talking about soapboxes. I'm talking about coffee tables. I'm not talking about yelling to prove a point. I'm talking about creating a conversation to find healing. Please share this. Everybody share the mess out of this, please. Share it. So listen, reach out to your pastor, call them, say, hey, this is going on. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not asking for no money. I'm not asking for jack squat, family, nothing at all. But we need to talk about this matter. Okay. Again, like I said, this is me. This is me. When you see that young man who got murdered, that's me. You see me. When you see him, I see me. I see my cousin. I see my brothers. You know what I mean? There's a travesty that's been happening all throughout our world, all throughout our nation, that many people have just discounted. Oh, well, it's not there. It's not a big idea, or racism's not real, or that's bad, or why does all these Black people just keep bringing it up, or whatever. This is it. This is it, because they still feel like there's a target. Like man. And so even when I travel, go to these places, like I'm thinking, okay, man, where am I going to go? What hotel I'm going to stay at? I'm researching all different things, right? And because I don't want, you know what I mean, to put myself in a situation where then I have to defend myself, or secondly, in a situation where someone is just pointing a finger at me saying, because I looked intimidating. I looked angry. I looked this, right? And so this must be a matter that is being addressed, must be a matter to talk about. And again, the purpose of this video is to reach out to you, to reach out to your pastors, to reach out to your leadership. We need to talk about this. And pastors, you may be like, well, I don't know how to. I want to help you. Okay. There's no excuses. No excuses for your silence. And I'm not talking about some PR mess. That has to stop. I'm not talking about putting a Band-Aid, doing a PR thing. Well, let's pray and end, and don't have any sort of steps to create conversations, family. That's just foolishness. Let's literally truly address the matter. And so people can finally find a healing. I'm telling you, family, there's people in your church services right now that are hurting deeply, that is bombarded with fear and anxiety and stress and anger. and they're having a hard time processing it. And the very place where in the house of God, where they should find their healing and finding their hope, and what's going on with them is being ignored. It's not being talked about. But yet at the same time, hearing other issues, other social issues, and other biblical values being discussed in fervency. But I'm telling you, the same child before the womb is just as important as the adult after the womb. God cares for them all, and we should as well. So again, I am making this video, making this live to implore, beg, I don't know, whatever, fill in the blank, to reach out to you, to reach out to me. Let's talk about this. Let's create a conversation. If you are a predominantly white church, reach out to me. You're predominantly black church, reach out to me. If you're a multi-ethnic church, multicultural church, reach out to me. If you're a Spanish church, reach out to me. Reach out to your senior pastor. Reach out to your youth pastors. Reach out. Let's create this conversation. Again, I'm not talking about wagging fingers. We got to address the matters on all ends, family, on all ends. You know what I'm saying? Let me just say about you, like this, even some things that we have to address. Again, it's how quickly many people saw this, like, oh, well, he must have robbed somebody. It was heard, and the thought notion was, well, they heard that a robbery happened and that he fit the description. Do you know the reason why? When I go to the grocery store, I go to the gas station, I get a pack of gum. They always ask me, do you want a receipt? I said, yeah, I want a receipt. A pack of gum. Yeah, I want a receipt. And I get asked all the time, like, why in the world do you want a receipt for a pack of gum? Because you know how many times I've been accused of stealing? How many times I have been accused, like, hey, did you pay for that? Oh, let me look at you. How many times, family? And if I don't have a receipt in my hand for a pack of gum, then the only thing I have to fight with is my word. No, I paid for that. I paid for it. Now I'm sick and tired of having that conversation. So wherever I go, I grab a receipt. You know what I'm saying? And so these type of things, family, there's a deep generational wounds that needs to be healed. And the balm of Gilead, pastors, God has placed you in a place that you can speak life to the hurting communities in your sanctuaries. So if you choose to stay silent willingly, not just talking about a place of ignorance, I give you that. Maybe you're ignorant of the matter, I give you that. But choosing to stay silent is condoning and giving permission to welcome it. If you know your people are hurting, I don't get it. I don't get it. So, but maybe it's just like, well, I just don't know how. And I get it, family. That's why I'm having this video, doing this video live, to reach out to you and say, hey, let's do it. You have my cell phone number, text me, DM me, go on the website, message me, whatever the case may be. Let's have this conversation. I'm tired, family. I'm tired. I'm tired of this mess. I'm tired of this stuff. I have a son. I'm black. My wife is Mexican. My son, we call him the Blaxican. He's and I wonder, man, if I don't say anything, if someone else doesn't say something, if we don't fix anything, how in the world, what type of society is my son going to grow up in? In a world where he's tolerated instead of celebrated. You know what I'm saying? So family, this has to be discussions that we have, must be. And I want to help you. I really do. I don't know any other way to say this and to share this. But if you stay silent about this matter, you're part of the problem. It's the systemic racism, the systematic racism across the board. I'm not just talking about minorities. It's on all ends. That's what we need to address on all ends, family. All ends. You know that white privilege this is a misconception about white privilege. White people say, oh, white privilege, what are you saying? I didn't work hard. White privilege is nothing to do with you working hard. Of course you worked hard. Of course you're not lazy. White privilege has nothing to do with how hard you're working. But white privilege is running in your neighborhood without the fear of being shot. White privilege is getting pulled over by the cops for a broken tail light, no, and not fearing from your life that is this the day I die. That's white privilege. It's nothing to do with your worth ethic. It has nothing to do with that. But do you see how there's so much misconceptions regarding that? Nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? So again, these are the questions that we have to address, have to answer. Because there's many people who will just press the end button the moment they probably did. The moment I said white privilege, they ended it, press the end button, because like, oh, I don't want to hear all that. But this is the matters, family. It's systemic. It's not just a particular person. It's the system that is embedded in our society that demonizes individuals through the color of their skin. So family, I want to help you. I want to partner with you. Again, I'm not asking for a dime. I'm not asking for anything at all. Nothing at all. But we need to talk. So again, there's like I said, I'm not talking about soapboxes. I'm talking about let's create conversations. Always open the talk and continue the conversation. Love your heart and issue. So like I said, we must. And again, what I will address, and I think it's important to talk about it, but let me tell you, there's power in having someone that looks like the individual you're talking about. So listen, like I said, it is valuable to have a black man talking about the issues regarding black issues. It's vital. It's important to have the representation right there on that platform. And so, or social media. So I'm saying, anyways, feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but you get what I'm saying. So, let's address these matters, not in anger. I'm not saying we're throwing stones. I'm not saying we're picking up arms to yell at people in the congregation. I'm not saying that at all, fam. Not by no stretch of imagination. I just want to address, and maybe some of you that, hey, I want to talk about this, but I just don't know how. But let me tell you, fam, you want to win over the people in your, sometimes it's not about knowing all the right words. It's about making the effort to try. Man, there's so many people in your congregation waiting. Like, man, do they care about what is going on? Because when it's something to do with this, they speak loud and they yell it from the platform. But when it's something to do with me, they're silent. So do they care about me, or do they just care about my tithe? So these are the thoughts that people are having right in your congregation, right in your church. So we want to address the fear. We want to address the pain. We want to address the issues. But we can't stay silent. We can't be peacekeepers. We must be peacemakers. And peace, in order to make peace, it requires effort. It requires a conversation. It requires it. And so the responsibility to shepherd, the responsibility to pastor the needs of the community is vital. So again, I am blessed, family, to be at a church where I'm at. But maybe these conversations aren't happening. But like I said, I don't want to make the assumption, or I don't want you to make the assumption that you're not saying anything because you don't want to. But maybe you don't say anything because you just don't know how. But that's what I'm saying. But us talking, having that conversation, I just think is vital. So DM me, message me, reach out to the online. Again, I don't know any way to say it, but let me shut up. Let me be quiet. But reach out to me. Let's talk about this thing. Please, 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 please prioritize this. Not later, not tomorrow. Strike while the iron's hot. Do you realize, family, that this thing is going on? This young man who's killed by jogging, this happened 2 months ago. And the individuals there's no anything being served 2 months ago. So this is not something that happened yesterday, 2 months ago, family. But now it's just being talked about, right? But this is a fear many people have, you know what I'm saying? And so, and again, I just think it is important to address. So anyways, I hope y'all know my heart. I mean, those who know me, you know me, right? And so, and I love culture. I love ethnic. I love y'all. I do. And I think a lot of times people have a hard time getting to this understanding because you just don't know how. And felt like I've been a missionary to cultures other to white cultures or to all these other cultures for a long time, a long time. And so, but we need to make some bridges, family, because we can't hide behind the cross. We have to carry it. So if you want to preach the gospel and to live the gospel, this is part of it. Abortion, preaching and standing for abortion. Thank God. Yes. Stand up for those babies. Stand up for those individuals. Stand up for them. But I don't understand how we can be so fervently passionate about one social issue, about a voice as individuals, but ignore the other. It doesn't compute in my head. It doesn't compute. If we deem one being biblical values that God cares for people, God cares for life, but yet the other ones we ignore and we look for reasons to justify a person's actions. Oh, well, I heard there was a robbery nearby. You know what I'm saying? And so again, I think the biggest problem, again, we don't have these conversations as well, is because people will very, very quickly categorize this as political instead of social. But you read the life of Jesus, bro. Whew, he was all up in this type stuff. So family, I just think we need to be like Christ. So we can't hide behind the cross. We got to carry it. So let's do this together. So DM me, message me, reach my website. I'm gonna write it one more time. Again, I'm not asking for a dime. It's tmmonline.org. I just wrote it down there. Let's talk about this. If you're a pastor, please reach out. DM me, message me. I'm going to send you my cell. We're going to chat or we'll DM, whatever works best for you. So listen, don't ignore it. Midwest Indiana pastors, please. Please reach out to me and let's talk about this thing. Silence is not the answer. Silence is a thumbs up. Silence is not a finger wag, right? So let's talk about these things. Anyways, fam, God bless you all. Holler at y'all later. Peace.